Setting up and threading your PFAFF sewing or embroidery machine is easy. Most PFAFF machines are very similar to setup, threading, and winding a bobbin. The Creative Icon has a slightly different threading path using a telescoping thread guide, and the path for winding a bobbin is also different. Some other PFAFF machines vary slightly. Use the manual to help with the variations in threading. Follow along with your machine while we set up and thread. Take your PFAFF machine out of the box and place it on a solid flat surface. Make sure the machine is steady and does not wobble. Take out your power cord and foot control. Some PFAFF machines require you to connect the foot control cord into the cord socket on the bottom of the foot control. Located on the right side of your machine toward the bottom is the foot control socket, power cord socket, and on-off switch. Connect the foot control, then the power cord. It is good to use a surge protector with your PFAFF sewing or embroidery machine. A surge protector is not required, but is a good protection for your power spikes. Plug the surge protection into the wall outlet and then plug the power plug into the surge protector. Switch on your PFAFF sewing or embroidery machine. Start with a good quality thread for both top and bottom. No matter if you are sewing, quilting, or embroidering, thread makes all the difference. In general, a horizontal thread delivery is best for most normal threads and sewing techniques. Place a spool cap and the thread spool on the spool pin. Make sure that the thread reels off the spool counterclockwise and slide on a second spool cap. Not all thread spools are manufactured in the same way. If you experience problems with the thread, turn it in the opposite way or use the vertical position. Use a spool cap slightly larger than the thread spool. For narrow thread spools, use a smaller spool cap in front of the spool. For large thread spools, use a larger spool cap in front of the spool. The flat side of the spool cap should be pressed firmly against the spool. There should be no space between the spool cap and the thread spool. Use the vertical position for large spools or specialty threads. Slide a large spool cap on the spool pin and place a felt pad under the thread spool. This will help stop the thread from reeling off too fast. Do not place a spool cap on top of the spool pin. That would prevent the spool from rotating. When the spool pin is used in the vertical position, you may need to slightly adjust the tension manually. Winding a bobbin. Bobbin winding. Number 1. Place the thread under the first thread guide. Number 2. Move to the bobbin tension disc. Wrap the thread around the bobbin tension disc. For the machines that have a triangle on the bobbin tension disc, ensure that the thread is above the triangle on the bobbin tension disc. Number 3. Move the thread to the bobbin winder going through guides as necessary. Use the proper PFAFF bobbin for your machine. Place the bobbin on the bobbin spindle. If PFAFF is embossed on the bobbin, make sure PFAFF is up when placing the bobbin on the bobbin spindle. Place the thread through the small slot or hole in the bobbin from the inside to the outside. You can also wrap the thread clockwise several times around the bobbin. Push the bobbin winder spindle to the right to wind. Depending upon the PFAFF machine you are threading, a pop-up may appear on the screen to inform you that bobbin winding is active. To adjust winding speed, use the slider in the pop-up. Start bobbin winding by pressing the foot control or touch the start-stop button. When the bobbin is full, it will stop winding. Release the foot control or touch start-stop to stop the bobbin winder motor from running. Move the bobbin winder spindle to the left. Remove the bobbin and cut the thread using the bobbin thread cutter. Take off the bobbin case cover. Place the bobbin in the bobbin case with the thread unreeling from the left of the bobbin. The bobbin will rotate counterclockwise when you pull out the thread. If PFAFF is embossed on the bobbin, make sure it is facing up. Place your finger on the bobbin to keep it from turning as you pull the thread firmly to the right and then to the left into the tension spring until it clicks into place. Continue following the arrows in the bobbin area, threading around the guide at the upper left and then to the right of the thread cutter. Replace the cover and pull the thread to the left to cut. Make sure to raise the presser foot to open the tension discs before starting to thread. Use the presser foot lifter or the presser foot lift extra lift button on the front of your PFAFF. Once there is thread on your PFAFF sewing or embroidery machine, you're ready to start threading. Even though some guides will look different, the process of threading each PFAFF machine is the same. Once you know the basics of threading one PFAFF sewing machine, you will know how to thread all of them. Just look up the specifics in the machine's user's guide. Place the thread under the first thread guide. Move to the second thread guide. For those machines with the triangle, make sure the thread goes under the triangle for threading, and ensure the thread gets completely in the second thread guide. Take the thread down the front of the machine into the tension discs. Remember, start with a good quality thread for both top and bottom. No matter if you're sewing, quilting, or embroidering, thread makes all the difference. Threading the front. Continuing with number 3, take the thread into the tension on the front of the machine. Number 4, go down the front and back up to the take-up lever. Number 5, go right to left through the take-up lever. Number 6, draw the thread back down the front of the machine to the guide above the needle. Depending upon the PFAFF machine you're threading, you may need to thread the needle manually or use the built-in needle threader. If you are threading the Creative Icon, threading is done with a push of a button. For the Creative Icon, watch the Threading the Needle video in the Help Center. To use the needle threader, the needle must be in the up position. If your machine has a needle up-down button, press it twice to put the needle down and then up. This ensures the needle is in the proper position. Then lower the presser foot. Use the needle threader handle to pull the needle threader down and swivel the hook through the needle eye. Pull the thread under the large hook, then over to the needle and under the small wire hook that is through the eye of the needle. Pull the thread in towards you to make sure the thread is hooked on the wire. Let the needle threader gently swing back. The hook will pull the thread through the needle eye and form a loop behind the needle. Pull the thread loop out behind the needle, and your needle is threaded. The needle threader is designed to be used for size 70 to 120 needles. You cannot use the needle threader for size 60 needles or smaller, the wing needle, twin needle, or triple needle. There are also some optional accessories that require manual threading of the needle. Congratulations! You finished the course!